Listening is one of the most difficult skills when it comes to learn English, especially for beginners. If you still struggle with this important skill, keep watching on. In this video, I am going to show you some mistakes that most people make when learning English listening and how to improve your English listening effectively. English teachers consider listening the very first skill to be taught, followed by speaking, reading, and writing. Actually, listening gives an important input to second language acquisition. It can also determine the development of other three skills. The learning of other skills starts from hearing sounds like the way baby acquire their mother tongue. No listening means no input. No input means nothing is stored in your brain, and that means nothing will come out when it comes to speaking, or no output. So without listening, you can do nothing. Now you know the importance of listening skill in learning English. So you decide to start doing something right away. But how? To find out the best listening methods, it makes sense to examine some common challenges in learning process. And there are some reasons why you still struggle with your English listening. The reason number one is limited vocabularies. Limited vocabularies. Lack of English words is probably the number one reason why you cannot fully understand what you hear. Languages are formed by words, so without words you can do nothing. If the number of unfamiliar words is too big, it may be hard for you to understand the given message. Another case which even hurts you more is the fact that you know the vocabularies, you can't recognize their meanings while listening. That usually happens because you learn new words by your eyes, not your ears. You have learned the word only in written form, but you have missed the sound form. Besides, sometimes you know the words, but it happens that you don't hear them very often, so you fail to recognize the words immediately. You usually need some pauses to recall memory about the words instead. And after that, you realize that you're still stuck there while the listening ended just a minute before. Reason number two, you try to understand every single word. This is a wrong mindset almost everybody has. English learners tend to think that in order to understand the whole listening, they have to know the meaning of every single word. If you try to understand every single word while listening, when you don't know a word, you tend to stop for a while to think, which affects the whole listening process. You will miss the rest of the listening since your mind is busy thinking about what have gone. It is a common mistake that many English learners make. When you learn English or any other languages, you have to accept the fact that you cannot fully understand every word all the time, as there still arise new words every time you listen. For example, when it comes for English listening, I can understand 70 to 95% of what I'm listening to, and it is not bad because I try to understand the main point of what I'm listening to, and I don't pay attention to every single word, and this is what I suggest you to do. Reason number three, unfamiliar grammar structure. Since you're learning English as a second language, its grammar structures are new and strange to you. You will not know it well because it is not what you are used to in your mother tongue. How to improve your English listening? Number one, improve your pronunciation. Improve your pronunciation. The very first thing you must do is to improve your pronunciation. The correct way to perceive the sounds will lead you to good results in hearing the sounds. Learning pronunciation may be done indirectly by watching YouTube videos or thousands of videos available on the internet. While watching, just notice the way the speakers move their mouth and lips. Take notes and repeat again and again. Continue doing this for months, and you will be surprised at your improvement. Number two, listen everywhere all the time. To improve listening, you have to listen. Listen unconsciously and listen all the time. Just listen while you're doing some workout, some housework, or moving on the bus. There are many types of listening: podcasts, news, songs, audiobooks, and so on. Never stop listening. Just observe yourself in English listening as much as possible. This method is called extensive or passive listening. There are at least two benefits you can get from this. Passive listening familiarizes your ears with the sounds, stress, and intonation. In other words, that is an ear training. When your ears get used to the sounds, you'll gradually listen better. Another advantage of extensive listening is your vocabularies will be enriched steadily. The more you listen, the more vocabularies you know. The more vocabularies you know, the more comprehensible input you can build. The more input you can build, the better your listening will be. Number 3, watch English movies with subtitles. Is it your favorite? Watching movies may be relaxing, but you must follow these steps. Why should we watch movies actually? Movies model real-life situations, so movies' language is natural, authentic, and closer to you than textbook language. Language in movies gives you some comprehensible input to listen better in real life. Number 4, practice speaking with foreigners. These 2 strategies above are called passive listening. Now it's time for active listening. When you listen and take actions based on what you have heard, in a conversation you have to listen and respond. Listening with interaction or actively engaging in the dialogue is actually much more exciting than just being a passive listener and letting the insiders lead you anywhere they like. Speaking and listening at the same time makes you an active listener. You're trained to listen with some mental activities processing in your mind. Number 5, combine English listening and reading. This is a dial training, which benefits 2 skills at once. There are 2 ways to do the training. If the listening is short and familiar to you, listen and read along the same time, which is called shadowing technique. If the listening is long and complicated, listen, pause, then read again. One of the materials you can use is movies or videos with subtitle, but this time you need more intense practice. No attention to the social context is needed. Focus on the word or sentence level instead. Everything will work well with shadowing technique. It is especially a great technique for practicing pronunciation. Just watch a scene or a 2-minute video for many times. Repeat after the speakers for many times until you can shadow at the same time as the speakers without pausing. Number 6, practice deep listening. Yeah, deep listening. What does it mean by deep listening? It means to listen attentively and repeat listening again and again for many times. Do it 4 or 5 weeks until you will never forget it, and make it a habit, because language is both cognitive and habitual construction. Listen again to what you have listened before in the passive listening stage. Now you listen to it many times attentively day by day. You can recognize every word, phrase, and sentence fast, easily, and automatically for sure. That is a huge improvement, right? And conclude, the simple learning approach that will guarantee your success is to make it so easy. You start really small and then make the listening activity a habit. People have tried and most have succeeded. I do believe that they will work out for you too. Follow these tips and you will see how fast and greatly your listening will be improved. Have a nice time. Goodbye.